We will continue from where we left. In our previous discussion, we were discussing about the word Sanatana. Do you remember the meaning of word Sanatana?
Was that eternal?
Yes, eternal. So we talked about Sanatana abode. We talked about the Sanatana positions of living entities. So basically, eternal abode is Golok or Vaikunt. We also discussed the difference about two, and we also discussed about our eternal positions. And eternal means which is from always. And that means there was no time when it came into existence. It is from always. Like there is no beginning of it, and there would be no
Mm-hmm.
end. So, like that.
I see.
So, okay, we will continue now. The Lord comes himself in different incarnations, or he sends his confidential servants or sons or his associates or acharyas to reclaim the conditioned souls. So, the only purpose of Krishna incarnating in this mortal world is to take people back to him. This is the only purpose of him um appearing here in this material world. And of course, also to reciprocate with his devotees who are already
Mm-hmm.
devotees. Plus, sometimes he appears himself, or sometimes he sends his confidential servants. So, just like we see different uh, messengers of different religions, they are actually the messengers of Krishna, just like Lord Jesus or um, other people, whatever religion they follow, Guru Nanak, or I mean, there are many. So they are the messengers of Krishna, they are servants of Krishna. Just like Prabhupada came, he's also messenger of Krishna. Acharyas are all the spiritual masters which come in disciplic succession. So Krishna sends his devotees, the acharyas, his messengers. They are all devotees of Krishna. And their only purpose is to reclaim the conditioned souls, to take them out from their suffering. And please understand, until a devotee or an associate or God interfere in someone's life, any person, he cannot get liberated from his current situation, because we
Mm-hmm.
can never understand ourselves that we are actually suffering here, although suffering is there, but then also people don't understand it. So until someone interfere in the life, devotees interfere in the life, one will never understand it. Okay, now we will continue. Please continue reading from here.
Therefore, Sanatana Dharma does not refer to any sectarian process of religion. It is the eternal function of the eternal living entities in relationship with the eternal Supreme Lord. Sanatana Dharma refers, as stated previously, to the eternal occupation of the living entity. Sripad Ramanujacharya
Charya.
has Charya has
Yes.
Ramanujacharya has explained the word Sanatana as that which has neither beginning nor end. So when we speak of Sanatana Dharma, we must take it for granted on the authority of Sripad Ramanujacharya that it has neither beginning nor end.
So it's clear, right? Sanatana means which has neither beginning nor end. It's eternal. And Sanatan Dharma means eternal occupation, which cannot be separated. Dharma cannot be separated. So like that. Okay, please continue.
The English word religion is a little different from Sanatana Dharma. Religion conveys the idea of faith, and faith may change.
Do you
One may
agree
have
with
faith.
Do you agree with this?
I don't know.
See, religion conveys the idea of faith, that I believe in this religion, I believe in that religion. Let's understand this with an example. Suppose any girl is a Christian, so right now he believes in Christianity. But later, if she uh, fall in love with a man who is actually Muslim, then she'll marry him, and then after getting married to that Muslim man, she will now start following his religion. So now her faith will change. Earlier she was thinking that, oh, I am Christian, I'll follow Christianity. But no, now my husband is Muslim. So no, now I will follow Muslim religion. So religion is something which conveys the idea of faith, and faith may change. So, earlier when I was learning Krishna consciousness, so I also had this idea that, oh no, this demigod is nice. I will follow this demigod. I will become follower of this demigod. But then sometimes if my desires were not getting fulfilled, so I would ask any other demigod, I would pray any other demigod. And if those desire got fulfilled, then I decide that no, now I will follow this demigod. He's very nice. So like that, our faith changes with time, with our desires and stuff like that. But Sanatana Dharma is something which can never be changed. We are we are eternal servants of Krishna, and this can never be changed no matter what. And once if any person, if he comes into Krishna consciousness and he experience all the happiness, joyfulness in Krishna consciousness while practicing the devotional services, so even if due to wrong association he left, if he do not continue his practices, but then also he will definitely remember that, oh, when I was Krishna conscious, my life was very chill. So because this is our constitutional state, and once if we get taste of it, then we will definitely turn back. Even if any person, falls, but he will definitely come back. I see many devotees doing this. They do this. They go, then again come, then go, then again come, like that. So it's true. Sanatana Dharma can never be uh, changed, because this is something which gives us real satisfaction, real happiness. Please continue.
One may have faith in a particular process, and he may change this faith and adopt another, but Sanatana Dharma refers to that activity which cannot be changed. For instance, liquidity cannot be taken from water, nor can heat be taken from fire. Similarly, the eternal function of the eternal living entity cannot be taken from the living entity. Sanatana Dharma is eternally integral with the living entity. When we speak of Sanatana Dharma, therefore, we must take it for granted on the authority of Sripad Ramanujacharya that it was neither beginning nor end. That which has neither end nor beginning must not be sectarian. for it cannot be limited by any boundaries. Those belonging to some sectarian faith will wrongly consider that Sanatana Dharma is also sectarian. But if we go deeply into the matter and consider it in the light of modern science, it is possible for us to see that Sanatana Dharma is the business of all the people of the world, nay, of all the living entities of the universe.
So I think it's clear, right? And it does make sense, right? Okay, please continue.
Non-Sanatana religious faith may have some beginning in the annals of human history, but there is no beginning to the history of Sanatana Dharma because it remains eternally with the living entities. Insofar as the living entities are concerned, the authoritative Shastras state that the living entity has neither birth nor death. In the Gita, it is stated that the living entity is never born and he never dies. He is eternal and indestructible, and he continues to live after the destruction of his temporary material body. In reference to the concept of Sanatana Dharma, we must try to understand the concept of religion from the Sanskrit root meaning of the word. Dharma refers to that which is constantly existing with a particular object. We conclude that there is heat and light along with the fire. Without heat and light, there is no meaning to the word fire. Similarly, we must discover the essential part of the living being, that part which is his constant companion. That constant companion is his eternal quality, and that eternal quality is his eternal religion.
Continue. So
When
I
Sin-
hope you are reading it with nice awareness, right? So somewhere if you feel difficulty, because we have already discussed these topics, right? So it's all clear. But in some line, if you feel some difficulty or doubt, you can ask. Please continue.
Mm. Well, it's a
Hmm.
big concept and I don't entirely grasp it. I mean, I understand like the words, right? But the worldview, I think it's new to me and I don't entirely understand the scope of it.
See, basically Prabhupada is trying to tell here, just like the dharma, basically the quality of fire, he's giving an example. Fire is that it has heat and light, and it can never be separated from fire. Without heat and light, there is no meaning to the word fire, right? So, same way, we are living beings, and our eternal quality is that we like to serve, and that service should be for God, to God. This is our eternal quality, and this eternal quality is only our eternal dharma, that we are fragmental parts of God, and our duty is, our dharma is to serve God. And what will happen by serving God? Serving means basically bhakti, practicing devotional services. What will happen if we'll practice our devotional practices? Our relationship with Krishna will invoke in our heart, and that way, love for Godhead will invoke in our heart. And then we will go back to Krishna.
Mm.
So, this is the overall concept. Bhagavad Gita
Mm.
is meant for this purpose only, that we understand our relationship with Krishna, which we will not understand in just one line. We need to hear it again and again. We need to study details, that how can we believe, you are saying that we are uh, part of God or part of Krishna. So that we will understand in deep in Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna will, instruct. So we already heard the purpose of life. Purpose of life is to get love of God. So
Mm.
how to get that and all of these things, this is the concept basically which we will learn in Bhagavad Gita, and Prabhupada is telling summary in the introduction.
Mm.
I hope you were able to grab something. It's okay, don't worry, you will grab.
Okay.
Please continue.
When Sanatana Goswami asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the Swarupa of every living being, the Lord replied,
Swarupa means constitutional position. No? And Sanatan Goswami is, do you remember? He is one of
he's
the
a companion of
yes,
Lord Chaitanya.
yes, one of these from the six Goswamis.
Mm. In Vrindavan.
Yes,
Okay. Okay, you said constitutional
position position
position.
is Swarupa.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. The Lord replied that the Swarupa, or okay, here it is, or constitutional position of the living being is the rendering of service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we analyze this statement of Lord Chaitanya's, we can easily see that every living being is constantly engaged in rendering service to another living being.
Please try to read this very, very attentively, because this is what I was trying to explain you. You can, start from the beginning again, from here maybe. The Lord replied.
The Lord replied that the Swarupa, or constitutional position, of the living being is the rendering of service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we analyze this statement of Lord Chaitanya's, we can easily see that every living being is constantly engaged in rendering service to another living being. A living being serves other living beings in various capacities. By doing so, the living entity enjoys life. The lower animals serve human beings as servants serve their master. A serves B master, B serves C master, and C serves D master, and so on. Under these circumstances, we can see that one friend serves another friend. Mother serves the wife, and so on. If we go on searching in this spirit, it will be seen that there is no exception in the society of living beings to the activity of service. May I ask a question about this? Well, it seems like maybe there are some people who prefer being served over serving. Like they like to be on top and they want people to do everything for them. So I'm thinking, oh, it seems like there's exceptions, but
Very
can
nice.
you?
Very nice question. So it seems that any person, he might be on a very nice designation and he's on top and he's not serving anyone. But this is not true. He is also serving some other person. So maybe in his family, he might be serving someone. Because see, we only understand, we only perceive things in the way what we see from our eyes.
Hmm.
And here's the limitation, basically. This is the limitation. So see, one should understand that this is the very nature of material world, that no one is on top. Everyone, you will find, suppose if we talk about ourselves, we will always find someone inferior from ourselves and someone superior from ourselves. And this happens with everyone in this world. Everyone, in some way or another. He would be superior from someone, or he would be inferior from someone in some way or another. So if he is inferior in some things from any other person, then he will definitely have to serve that person to have those services, right? So suppose if we take example of government, so government is also serving audience, public, basically society. Government is also serving. Prabhupada will give example, don't worry.
Okay.
So in some way or other, every person is serving. Please remember this point, because we will find someone inferior from us or someone superior from us. So if we are inferior to someone, then we are bound to serve that person if we wish to have some service, some facilities, basically. Right? So yeah, like that. And very amazing thing Prabhupada says, if if you don't see any person serving any other person, so he is actually serving his own senses. He's the servant of his own senses. He's the servant
Okay.
of his own mind. However, however mind is ordering him, actually, however senses are ordering him, he have to act in that way, and he's helpless.
For me, this is like a light bulb moment because, oh, if I may confess, sometimes I feel like, oh, I prefer to be served more than to serve, because I'm the baby in the family. And um, I guess it's maybe a part of birth order. Sometimes the youngest in the family gets spoiled a little bit more, or even if, let's say, um, you know, a man is trying to court me and he's sending gifts, things like this. Like, it feels so nice, to get these kind of attentions. And I know it's all material and it's superficial, but yes, I have liked feeling the recipient of service, whether from family or suitors or something. And but I have also been the servant of my senses. And yeah, it makes sense.
So see, maybe this is not something, the word which you have used. You want others to serve you, right? So basically, this might be something you want. In devotee societies, it's called loving exchanges. If we are giving love to someone, we are reciprocating. So this is definitely tendency, this is our tendency, that we seek for reciprocations, we seek for loving exchanges. This is our very tendency. But don't worry, by time, as we'll practice, just keep chanting, and you will yourself see all things which are troubling you, they will fade. So before coming into Krishna consciousness, I was selfish number one. Actually, this is the real problem. I was really a selfish. I would not share even a pin to someone, because I was thinking that why it belongs to me. Why would I give
Yeah.
my pin to you or whatever
Mhm.
things? I was very much selfish, literally.
Yeah. Yes.
And if any person he would ask for some help from me, then I would then I would think, will I get something in return? Why will
Mm,
I waste my energy in, helping that person? Will I get something in
mhm,
return? So this
mhm.
level of selfishness, you can see, is so much selfish. But
Yeah.
now I'm not praising myself. This is the very nature of, Krishna consciousness,
Mhm,
nature of bhakti, that we automatically become selfless.
mm,
We we experience more happiness, more joy, and more satisfaction in serving. This will automatically
mm.
happen. And now I'm
Okay.
not praising myself. I really don't. I just love to serve.
Mm,
And greatest service is, Krishna tells in 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is the last chapter. Greatest service is to preach the knowledge of Krishna consciousness to
mhm,
people. This is the greatest service, because you are helping that living entity to, get him out from all of his troubles he's suffering in his life. And Krishna
mhm,
says this in Bhagavad Gita, that any person who preaches this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to others, no one can be as loving as that person to me. I mean, I love that person so much, because this pleases me very much, that he is preaching this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita.
mm, mm,
Basically, that person is very favorite. He
mm,
becomes very favorite to Krishna. And we all want to become favorite of Krishna, right? So
mhm.
that's where we should keep telling.
Yeah.
And this quality makes us non envious, because you
Mm,
will see, when we have something valuable, and if we share that valuable thing to someone, and that can be in any form, that can be in the form of knowledge or thing, or any skill, any art. If you share that valuable thing with someone, so you immediately become non envious. And this is a
mm,
great quality. And
mm,
all these qualities comes, Krishna is the abode of all these good qualities, and he gives these qualities to his devotees. Even if devotees are not aspiring, then also he gives, because it's his
mm,
very nature.
mm,
So don't worry about these things. And about senses, so yes, we have freedom here, that we can use our senses in whatever subjects we want, but we should try to connect it with Krishna,
mm. Yes.
because that really purifies us, our consciousness, our senses. Especially tongue is most voracious. Our tongue wants to speak anything rubbish, whatever rubbish.
Mhm,
Our tongue wants to eat whatever things, even if it is good thing, but good items, good food items. But then also we hanker. Do you like
mm.
sweets?
Yes.
See? So don't worry, we don't have to control. Actually, in food, we have full freedom. You can eat anything you want, but you should offer it to Krishna, and then you can consume it. And this quality only will become a reason to make us progress with a great speed. So even if you
Mm.
like sweets, do you cook? I don't know if I
Yes.
asked.
Yes.
Do you love cooking? Do you enjoy cooking?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, so then what's the problem? You cook nice items every day or whenever you want. You can make sweets. If you want, Sattvic Movement also organizes food workshops. They teach to
Mm.
cook. So you can also
You
attend those.
know, um,
Even
Sarva Mataji gave me this. Can you see this?
yes, yes, yes.
You know this book.
Yes, so you can use this also to make recipes. And yes.
Yeah. Wow. Looks amazing.
Okay. Okay, you keep this aside, otherwise you will feel hungry. So
Sorry,
you
sorry.
you'll start craving. You know, this happens with me. At least it was happening with me before. Whenever I was hearing a lecture, and Prabhuji, he used to speak something about food, about prasadam, I immediately start craving to eat. Literally, even now also this happens sometimes. So
Yeah, I'm so
yes,
weak with my senses. Yes.
yes. So intelligence is we use it in service to Krishna. Then we'll be safe. You know,
Mm,
you will feel guilt free. You will not feel that, oh, I am gratifying my senses. No, if you do it in connection to Krishna, you are safe, you are secure. It will be
mm,
guilt free. And that will
amazing.
not count in sense gratification as well. That would
Mm,
count, that would count in service to Krishna.
amazing. I love it.
Yes. So, especially, we have freedom about food. Whatever you like sweets, you can make nice cakes, pastries, cookies, or whatever items, and offer it to Krishna and have it.
Amazing.
Very nice. Yes. In fact, I'm so much passionate about cooking. I just love cooking. I even like to feed devotees. And devotees, they often like to come. So like that, it's actually a celebration.
Mm,
Very,
beautiful.
like, very beautiful. So you can
Yeah.
do. No sense
Yeah.
gratification.
Wonderful. I love the
Eh,
sound of that.
Yes, celebration for Krishna. Very nice.
Mm,
So if you will read Krishna book, so in Krishna book also you will see how Mother Yashoda is cooking lots of items for Krishna. Lots and lots of items. And Krishna, Krishna is number one foodie. He really likes to eat good food. So we
mm,
should definitely offer nice, nice food to Krishna, and you will always be happy that way
mm.
because he loves eating. And if we are pleasing Lord, then we will always be happy.
Wonderful.
2 days before, my master was telling he has deities in his house.
Mhm.
Uh, of you understand deities,
Yes.
idols. You can say yes, deities.
Yes.
So he has deities of Lord Giriraj. You will understand who is Giriraj. Giriraj is Krishna only, and you will learn it in Krishna book in a story that how he
Hmm.
incarnated himself as a mountain.
Hmm.
Krishna can become anything.
Mm,
So, he also incarnates in the form of a fish or a form of a horse. He can incarnate like in any form because he is
mm,
God. No
mm,
limitation. So, yes, he has Giriraj in his house. So, a devotee told him that, Giriraj love eating food, and if you will offer him nice food items, and then he'll always be happy, and you will feel no scarcity in your life. He will bless you with abundance, and he really feels it. He is also
mm,
not working. He is only busy in preaching the glories of Krishna. He's not working,
mm.
although he's married, but he's not working. And then also, Krishna is helping. So Krishna is amazing.
Beautiful.
Yes. So you should offer food to Krishna. So, yes, are you able to understand that everyone is serving?
Mm,
There is no
right.
exception.
Hmm.
Everyone is serving. No one is top in this world.
Mm. It
I
makes
mean,
sense.
were you able to really grab it or?
Yes. Yes, your
Oh,
explanation helped me.
good. Please continue now. The politician.
The politician presents his manifesto for the public to convince them of his capacity for service. The voters therefore give the politician their valuable votes, thinking that he will render valuable service to society. The shopkeeper serves the customer, and the artisan serves the capitalist. The capitalist serves the family, and the family serves the state in the terms of the eternal capacity of the external living being. In this way, we can see
Eternal living being, not external.
Eternal living being. Thank you. In this way, we can see that no living being is exempt from rendering service to other living beings, and therefore safely serve the end of the living being, and that the rendering of service is the eternal religion of the living being.
I hope you were able to grab it.
Yes.
That how our constitutional state is to always serve. We can never stay without serving. Even, I was wondering on this point when Harsh told that you do your karma and surrender your results to Lord. So it's not that we have to quit doing our karma, but reality is we can never quit our karma. No any person can sit idle. He will always do something or other. Do you agree with this? Can you just sit like this? Are you sitting on a chair, or I don't know where you're sitting, but wherever you are sitting, can you sit like this whole day? I'm not talking about whole life. Just sit like this whole day and do nothing. Don't move. You will have to do something. No any person can sit idle in this world. It's not possible. He will do something or other, because this is our very tendency that we want to do something. Always our thoughts are filled with so much idea. Our minds are filled with so much thoughts, so much ideas. We'll do this, we'll do that, this, do constant planning, right? So we can never sit idle. This is our tendency.
Yes.
Okay, please move ahead now. Now, Prabhupada will tell how this is eternal dharma and how other dharma are not eternal. Please read.
Yet man professes to belong to a particular type of faith with reference to particular time and circumstances, and thus claims to be a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, or an adherent of any other sect. Such designations are non-Sanatana Dharma. A Hindu may change his faith to become a Muslim, or a Muslim may change his faith to become a Hindu, or a Christian may change his faith, and so on. But in all circumstances, the change of religious faith does not affect the eternal occupation of rendering service to others. The Hindu, Muslim, or Christian in all circumstances is a servant of someone. Thus, to profess a particular type of faith is not to profess one's Sanatana Dharma. The rendering of service is Sanatana Dharma.
Clear? Clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Factually, we are related to the Supreme Lord in service. The Supreme Lord is the supreme enjoyer, and we living entities are his servitors. We are created for his enjoyment, and if we participate in that eternal enjoyment with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we become happy. We cannot become happy otherwise. It is not possible to be happy independently, just as no one part of the body can be happy without cooperating with the stomach. It is not possible for the living entity to be happy without rendering transcendental loving service unto the Supreme Lord.
So I hope, Mataji, this point is clear, which I was explaining you, that because our constitutional position, our eternal dharma is to render service. So we see people in this world, they are rendering service to one or another in some way or other. No one is at top. But our constitutional position is that we are fragmental parts of Krishna and we are his servitors. We are created for his enjoyment.
Mhm.
And when we participate in this eternal enjoyment, means we are uh, making him enjoy, then we become happy.
Mhm.
Just like you will see here also, if any person is serving selflessly to someone, he becomes
Mhm.
happy. If you know
Mhm.
fed food to someone selflessly, then you become happy by doing that
Mhm.
selfless service. Service
Mhm.
means selfless. It has to be selfless if you want to um feel happiness. But if we sell our service, then it becomes a deal or business. Then it's
Mhm.
no more a service.
Mhm.
Yes. So like that. So I hope this is clear what Prabhupada has explained here,
Mhm.
that we can be happy by serving Lord.
Mhm.
Okay, please move ahead.
Let's see. In the Bhagavad Gita, worship of different demigods or rendering service to them is not approved. It is stated in the 7th chapter, 20th verse.
Okay, please repeat after me. Kamestes hit jnana
Kamastistis hatingana
prapadyantanyadevataha
Vapadyantan nindivata
tam tam niyamamasthaya
Tam tam niyamamastaya
prakritya prakritya niyatah svaya.
Prakritriya niyata safa
Once again. Kamaste says hit jnana
Dhamastistis itinanya
prapadyantanya devataha
Prapadyantan nindivata
tam tam niyamamasthaya
Tam tam niyamamastaya
thaya
Astaya
prakritya prakritya niyatah svaya
Prakritya niyati swaya
tah svaya.
Niyata swava.
Yeah, it's easy. Anyways, please read the translation. So, are you getting what Prabhupada is saying, that in Bhagavad Gita, worship of other demigods or rendering service to other demigods is not approved? You know why?
Mhm.
Because see, because we are fragmental part of Krishna, so our constitutional state is to serve him. And demigods are also servant of Krishna. So if we are serving Prime Minister directly, then there is no need to serve the secretaries of Krishna. Are you get sorry, of Prime Minister? Are you getting it? So
Yes,
that
yes.
yes, if we are serving directly the top person, Prime Minister, then
Mhm.
no need to satisfy the secretary or chief minister. They will already be satisfied if we are directly satisfying the Prime Minister.
Mhm.
So same way, if we are satisfying Krishna, then there is no need to satisfy other demigods separately. In fact,
Mhm.
demigods become very, very happy when we surrender ourselves to Supreme Personality Krishna. Because you know why? Demigods actually don't like their devotees, because their devotees never come to demigods to get their love.
Mhm.
They come to ask for material possessions, or please help me to come out of this danger. Please help me so that I may get good score in my exam. Please help me that I may marry a nice wife. Please help me, I may raise a child. So like that.
Mhm.
They ask for such material desires only. And Lord Shiva himself said this, it's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, that he likes Vaishnavas very much. He likes
Mhm.
devotees of Krishna very much, and he do not like his own devotees. Because they always come to, especially, because Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are the powerful demigods amongst other demigods. So, demons, they always approach either Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma. So they'll do different austerities. Then, Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma have to give them some boon. Otherwise, they make so much trouble. So like that, they don't like their own devotees because they always trouble them. And you know what? Lord Shiva is always busy in reading Srimad Bhagavatam and chanting Rama. He always chant Ram, 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 always, constantly. And he
Mhm.
is so detached that he has not even, um, he has not even arranged for a house. He simply lives on mountains with his wife.
Mhm.
He's so much detached. He's always busy in rendering service to Lord.
Beautiful.
That's why, in order to stay calm and peaceful, he, give these material possessions to his devotees. That, oh, you don't disturb to me. You just take, okay, take whatever you want. Don't disturb me. Let me chant Ram, Ram. Let me read Bhagavatam like that. So he's so sweet.
Yeah.
It is said Lord Shiva is the topmost devotee of Krishna,
Mhm.
topmost Vaishnava. That's why he's called Mahadev. Dev means demigod and Maha means great. So he's Mahadev, greatest amongst the demigods, greatest amongst the devotees.
Mhm.
Okay, now please read the translation.
Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. Here it is plainly said that those who are directed by lust worship the demigods and not the Supreme Lord Krishna. When we mention the name Krishna, we do not refer to any sectarian name. Krishna means the highest pleasure, and it is confirmed that the Supreme Lord is the reservoir or storehouse of all pleasure. We are all hankering after pleasure. Ananda Mayo
Abhyasat.
be Sat. The living entities, like the Lord, are full of consciousness, and they are after happiness. The Lord is perpetually happy, and if the living entities associate with the Lord, cooperate with Him, and take part in His association, then they also become happy.
Wow, this is very beautiful point, isn't it? We become happy when we associate with happy people. This is
Yeah.
very amazing. So, if any person, you might have also heard it or experienced this in your life. If you associate with a person who has good vibes, he's happy, he's joyful, he's always smiling. So, when you associate with him or her, because they have nice vibes, so you also feel happy. That, wow, very
Mm.
uplifting person, very nice. I'm feeling very happy by associating with him. Very beautiful point. So same way, Krishna, he's the reservoir of all pleasure. He's storehouse of
Mm.
all happiness. So when we associate with him by rendering service to him, if we are chanting his holy names, we are reading about him, hearing about him, or whatever things we do related to him, then we are associating with him and we also become happy. Very
Mm,
simple, right?
mm,
So like
beautiful.
that. So, I need to say many more points about this verse because this is very important. But because now our time is over, is it over? Yes, it's over. It's 1 hour. So we can stop here now and hopefully we can meet tomorrow.
Okay.
Krishna.
Okay. Yes, tomorrow works for me. And um, will you be able to upload the replays? I've been sending a link to the playlist, like I sent to my sister, and there's another friend. I told her I'll send it to her.
Beautiful. Are they hearing?
I don't think they've listened yet, but
Yes,
I think
actually,
soon.
hearing such big recordings might be too much for them. I don't know. But you can give your association to them.
Mm,
Maybe you can ask to hear 10 to 15 minutes, if not much. And then you can discuss with them what they heard. So, like that.
mm,
It's very important that we give association to people to whom we wish to raise in Krishna consciousness.
mm. Last night I went to the devotee's house and had prasadam and kirtan, and one of my friends came. It was her first time.
Oh, wow. It's
Yeah.
very nice. This is very
Yes, and
beautiful that we give
yeah,
new people association of devotees.
yes. And Sarva Mataji sent a plate home for my mother.
What?
Sarva Mataji, she sent a plate of prasadam home for my mother.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Did she like
Yes.
it?
She was asleep already by the time I got home,
Okay,
and I
okay.
haven't seen her yet this morning. It's still early.
Nice, nice. You
Mhm.
definitely feed her. It's very important.
Yes, yes.
And did you get a chance to ask her for Tulsi plant?
They said they were going to give me some, but maybe because my friend was there and there were many people there, maybe we didn't have the opportunity.
Oh. So did you ask them from where they get the plant?
I forgot to ask.
It's
Uh,
okay, you can ask and maybe just start offering your food as soon as possible to Krishna.
mm. Yeah,
Yes.
I touched the beads to the food I cook, as you said. Did you tell me to do that or did they tell me to do that?
Your neck beads. I mean,
Yes.
we can touch chanting beads. I'm not sure about the one we are wearing,
Oh, I see, I
but
see.
anyways, you share your address with me and maybe I will reach out to some devotees I know if they can help. Okay.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. Hare Krishna. See you tomorrow.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much.